For this book notes video, I'm going to cover a book that I used. It was a mandatory text for a computational physics class I took as an undergrad. It's a C++, A Beginner's Guide, 2nd edition by Herbert Schildt. And I'm Tanis Coralee Leonhardi, she, her, hers of Norway and United States of America. And I'm filming this Friday, 11 October 2024. And so I bought this and I added it to my collection. So for some of my books, when I get them, I write my name in the inside cover. Not all of them, but some of them. So Tanis Leonhardi, January 2015. It entered my collection. And so it was a computational physics class in the physics department. It was a physics and astronomy physics at the University of Hawaii at Manoa. And we had this, a C manual, and then there was computational physics. We had a number of texts for the class. And so this is one, and this is one I chose to highlight here because I did use it throughout the class, because we would do different exercises and have different assignments, and so we'd get to get introduced to different programming or coding in the language C++. And might occasionally be like, the instructor might be like, you might want to try writing it in C to see how C and C++ are different. And so my instructor was Peter Gorham, who was a experimental astrophysicist who had like experiments in Antarctica, if I'm recalling correctly. Fieldwork in Antarctica for physics. Yeah, there you go. And so this is the 2004 McGraw-Hill Osborne edition paperback, and I'll put the ISBN in the video description. So that's my introduction. Let's go through book notes. So it is a whopping 552 pages. I like the index. The index is pretty cool in the sense of it actually has like functions. Like it has some of the stuff you might actually write into a C++ code or program, and it actually has that as like part of the index. So it's kind of cool. Where is this in the book? This exact thing. I fell in love with C++ sitting at my computer, you know, with this book open and being like, this is tedious but fun. Like tedious in a good way, like it actually requires thought for me to learn. I very much enjoy C++, and this is something that I said with my Mr. David Beckham stuff, that plots and stuff, C/C++ in GNU plot. So this is that C++. And this is one that I've used C++ in graduate level research in physics as well. And so they have a rather thorough, and I thought it did a really good job on the table of contents. It's a long table of contents. I love table of contents. And it does a really good job of like, where am I going in this book? Like if I don't know already what I'm like looking for, the table of contents does a good job of breaking down the chapters and then the sections of like, I need this one thing. Where might I find that? And so it has a bunch of exercises, including, you know, kind of what to enter in to like a code or a program. And then it also provides like description as to why to put that in, which I think is very helpful. And there are exercises describing things, and then there's progress checks. And I even took notes. So I took paper notes while doing this. And I thought what this, so for my particular purposes, so this is a text, and C and C++ are used in basic computer science. In addition to physics, in my so I did a degree in geology and geophysics, and then took some classes outside the department for fun. And so I took computational classes in geology and geophysics. I took computational class in physics, and I took a computational class in mathematics. Okay. And so this is one C++ that I found was used in physics. We used in physics. And we had, what was it? Linux is the operating system for the computers in the computer lab. Yes, it was cool. But where was I going with this? So this is a good book. It's instructional, it's clear, it's helpful. And where was I going with all this? It's step by step. What more can you ask for? The physics problems we worked on were pretty high level. So I would actually spend time reading this and reading the computational physics textbook we had. I have not featured that one yet in the book notes. I might not. I don't. I'm just doing a tasting, so to speak, putting a sampling of my books out there to see. Now, if I were moved in with my soulmate and or soulmates, and I'm like going through stuff and that kind of thing, and had moved my stuff, then I might have access to that and be like, they're in a safer place, don't have to worry about them disappearing and that kind of stuff. So then I might put more stuff out. But currently, it's just doing a sampling. But it talks about like arrays and pointers and stuff. And so in terms of like basic, I'm like flipping through this and I'm like remembering it and being like, this is so much fun. I remember those sevens. So I remember, yeah, learning this, and it's just a really good book. And it's really, I think, well formatted in terms of there's not walls of text, though there are walls of code. But it does a really good job of, here's some basics text, but we're not going to swamp you with what it means. So if anything, it might be like, some people might be like, but there's not enough description. And what I'm trying to say is, sometimes the description doesn't, the application, what are you writing the code for? So I was doing computational physics, right? So physics via computational methodology. And so for my purposes, I didn't get all I needed for what my assignment was from here, because I was taking and using it for physics, right? And this is about the programming and the coding and stuff. So there we go. So that might not be the best book notes in terms of construction and design, but yeah, it's well designed to move out a clip and not be overwhelming. That's my takeaway. It's one word. I guess it's more about takeaways. I like the color. It was easy. I'd have a stack of books on the ground, and for my classes, and so I liked the color scheme, like a yellowy orange. You know, like when it's on the ground and it looks like this. It's a little bit sun bleached because I was in Hawaii, but you can see that's what it started off as, and this is what it's faded to. But, you know, I'd be like, where's my C++? Grab it from the stack. And so it made it easy to spot within my texts. So there we go. In conclusion, I really like this. I still have this very good resource from experience for computation in physics using C++. So this is my book notes for C++, A Beginner's Guide, 2nd edition by Herbert Schildt.